Yeah. I don't really do videos like this, but I'm just gonna give it a whirl. I was thinking to myself about what you signal to the world matters, like how you present yourself, and not in that way that's superficial, not that stupid shit, but what is inside of you, how it's represented on the outside. Because in my past relationships, I noticed I was signaling something that I'm actually not. And even as they got to know me more, they really attached to that initial thing I was signaling, honestly. And it's beyond just relationships, like romantic. This is even friendships. Like, I'm a bit ambiguous in how I present. It's kind of hard to tell what I'm about. So a lot of people think that's a good thing, but it's kind of not. Like, for me, what I've been experiencing is it creates curiosity, so that's cool, right? But as they get to know you more, they don't accept the parts that are really a big part of you. They act like they do, but they really don't. They kind of try to steer you in a direction that they would prefer. They try to not put you in a box. I want to say put you in a box, but they try to put you in a role that serves them. And that was really, I'm going to just keep it real, like that was my last relationship. The way I was presenting was an inviting, stable force, which I'm stable, but the thing is I need my partner to be stable too, and they were not. And I think when you're stable, and not to sound like a big-headed ego person, that's not what I'm trying to get at, but when you're stable, you attract people who are unstable because they look for stability that they don't have in other people. And a lot of people use relationships to self-regulate. Not self-regulate, but they regulate through the relationship. And that's not really fair to you, and to be honest, not fair to them. What ends up happening is the reality is you can't do that job for them. That's a self-development thing, right? You trying to regulate someone else's past trauma, something they're not willing to face on their own, what ends up doing is, first off, you're going to find yourself in loops. You're going to get frustrated. I think at some point everyone reaches that tries to do this. They see potential in someone, they try to help them, and the same thing kind of happens over and over. The same issues keep getting brought up, or the same outbursts keep happening. And that's because they're not really supposed to be in a relationship. They're supposed to be taking time to themselves and processing and facing their demons, which honestly, that's really what I'm looking for in a partner now. Like, before, I did kind of have savior complex, I'll admit that. But my last relationship humbled me. You can't save people. They need to show up for themselves and save themselves. And honestly, just realize that's not your job. You can be a support system, absolutely. I'm not saying they need to be on their own completely, but if they're not doing the work to show up for themselves, you're going to find that a lot of that time you spent trying to help them won't even be appreciated. In fact, they might even resent you because you didn't do what they thought you could do, which is do the work for them. And that's on the relationship side of things. Let's talk about the friendship side of things. Like, I think a lot of people can relate, at least this is how I feel. You can be surrounded by people but still feel deeply alone because they like aspects of you, but the core parts of you that are really you are not really appreciated. In fact, they kind of like brush that to the side and focus on the things they want to focus on. But what role do we play in that? And I think a lot of that has to do with how you signal to the world. Because if you signal something about yourself that's just so blaring that they can't look away, like they're just like, oh, that's who you are, there's less of that I feel like happens. And what I mean by that is, try embodying whatever it is that you are, you know? If you're more alternative, like, just go for it. Do what you like. If you're into anime, really lean into that shit. Lean into it so that you signal to those people that are like-minded, find you. If you're into fitness, go for it. Like, I don't know. Whatever it is, lean into it. Don't try to do this massive hill shit, because I'll be honest, I'm not really like super massive hill, right? But I'm enough ambiguity to where I'm attracting like a good grip of people, friend, romance, all that. But it's not the specific type I want, to be honest with you. And I actually want to narrow the type of people I'm attracting, because the mass appeal thing is just not doing it. And it hasn't been. It's that was a phase in my life where that validation felt nice, but now it just kind of feels like, damn, this is annoying as fuck. Yeah, it became annoying as fuck because the people I'm getting into my life just don't relate in the way that is important to me. So yeah, you actually have to really put some great effort. And I mean great effort, because it's not easy. I'm actually experiencing this right now. Getting to the point where I present myself in a way where it's clear who I am, and it's gonna filter out people very quickly. I'm finding that that's a little difficult. Maybe that's part of laziness, perhaps, or maybe it's a skill you need to learn. And I feel like it's a mix for me. Like, it was both me just not really putting in the effort in and just hoping that I'll attract the right person in my life. But as I'm putting effort into it, I'm like, shit, this is a challenge. This is a challenge to present myself in a way where I feel like it's accurate. But it's worth it. And I think I'll be proud once I get it done. But I don't know. I can't be the only one that feels like this. Like, I'm not talking about not making friends or relationships at all. I'm talking about, like, you find yourself repeatedly getting in the ones that just don't fulfill you. And even if you care about the people, sometimes they might even tell you they feel like you don't connect all that much. And you do care about them, but you're like, yeah, there's something missing here. That is what I think I've come to realize, and I'm really honing in on it, because I do not want to keep doing this. This feels like I'm missing out on that deep connection that takes it from here to the next level. So yeah, this is the era of just cutting everything out, isolating, and really finding that element that makes me attract the right kind of people. Yeah, that's where I think I'm at in life at this moment. And to be fair, my past relationships weren't all bad. There's great things about it. But what is going on is I'm meeting people who they're just in loops. They loop a lot, and they don't really think the way I think, which is I'm more internal work and the external validation comes after. I don't need external validation to regulate myself. The people I ran into in my past, they need external to feel regulated in their self. And I just don't mix with that. I don't. I'm understanding of it, and I try to show them my way, but that's not an easy path. I act like it's easy, right? Like, for me, it came natural, but that doesn't make it easy for people. I'm more in touch with that now, because my advice, I made it seem like, oh, just face your demons and, like, do what I'm doing. Like, it's for the better. And that kind of advice worked for me. But, anything worth having in life comes with a cost, and that one comes with great discomfort. I'm not gonna act like it wasn't comfortable for me. It wasn't, but I'm okay with discomfort. I genuinely am. So the kind of people, I guess, that I would attract, they saw that stability and they sort of used it to stabilize themselves. And part of it I felt good about doing. That's the weird part. Like, I felt good being a source for stability for them, but I eventually wanted them to get to that place like I was at. Does that make sense? But I didn't think that in the end of those relationships, they would hate that I didn't play that role forever of being the stabilizer. Because if you constantly play that role, they will never get to that point. That's the issue with that. It feels good to be someone's comfort, but it does not feel good after a while when you realize you're not only their source of comfort, but their trigger. Because that's what ends up happening. You end up becoming their trigger at some point. So yeah, I will avoid those relationships like the plague. Not because they're bad people, but because in the long run, it does nothing. It genuinely does nothing. They end up resenting you at some point. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling, I guess. This is just thoughts that are just kind of freely flowing. But yeah, getting to that point where you signal to the world the kind of people that have the similar mindset, similar aesthetic. Because honestly, a lot of people, this is another thing, a lot of people kind of brush over aesthetics like it doesn't matter, like a surface level, and to a degree it is, but not really. Especially with the kind of way you present yourself says something about you. So no, I don't think it's surface level at all. I think what is surface level is the mass appeal thing. Genuinely, like what I did with the mass appeal thing, that backfired. I attracted the wrong people. I've been attracting the wrong people in my life. So you kind of have to lean into the things that make you you. And what's going to happen a lot of the time, for some people, that actually brings more people in their life. But for other people, it makes a lot less. But it's quality over quantity. That's what it comes down to, quality over quantity. So yeah, I'm going to lean into that a lot more now. That's where I think I'm at. And that's my thoughts. Well, this video was weird, but I don't know, I enjoyed it. Fuck it.